He's digging through the tape. Third string grind, every snap, every rep. Everybody talking first round, same names again. Danny in the shadows, finding value in the 10. Stopwatch ticking, notebooks full of ink. Missed by the cameras, but he sees what you think you didn't see. From small schools to backups with a chance. If there's a sleeper on the board, he already made the call in advance. Danny Savage, draft guru. Breaking down the board like a pro really do. Late round legends, yeah, he's standing on the truth. Day 3, Danny turning pigs into proof. When the lights fade out and the crowd goes home, that's when the future gets quietly grown. 6, 7 round undrafted dreams, you connecting all the dots in between the schemes. Traits of a hype, the film of a fame. If the league missed it, he's calling the name. Every year, gotta steal, every class got a few. When they go and show brand, Danny says, watch this dude. Danny Savage, draft guru. If it's sitting on the board, yeah, he's spinning it too. From the war room to the long shot crew. Day 3, Danny, yeah, the legends coming through. Yeah. This is Danny Savage, draft guru. Let's go. Let's get into it. This is Danny Savage, draft guru. Let's get into it.
Boom! Greetings from YouTubeville. Once again, Danny Savage, draft guru. Sunglasses a little. If you like the video, subscribe, give it a like, hit the hyper button. Also, don't forget to click on the notifications so you know I go live. Amazing creations, boom! Thank you for being in the house, man. It's draft season once again, man, and this is what I live for. I take that back. I live for my children, but no joke. The draft is like Christmas since I was a kid. The night before the draft, I don't sleep. I'm up because I've done for some players years and years, other players less work, and then I rank them. And I've been doing this since I was a kid, but this is my second class out there. But I've been doing this since I was a kid. Played, coached, but always just enamored of the breaking down process. And listen, let's be honest. The NFL is fantasy football for billionaires. There's 10 to 12 teams in the NFL that know how to draft. Michael, boom, thank you for jumping in the chat. Legit. There's 10 teams. There's 10 to 12 teams that year in, year out know how to draft. The other people are just throwing darts. There was a guy, allegedly, like a high-ranking member of the Vikings, got fired because all they found was PFF on his computer. So instead of watching football, he was on PFF. Have you ever seen the dudes talk football on PFF? They never played. They never played in my life. First of all, I think PFF rankings suck. But yeah, he got canned for going with PFF's rankings. All right, I'm going to be giving you 30 offensive tackles. Some people might say, "Oh, they're this, they're that." I'm going to play you where you played in college until you prove to me that you can't. Don't get me wrong. There are guys on these. I'm dropping 30. Tomorrow, you're going to get 30 guards, 30 centers. But there are guys on here that are going to get thrown inside. But also, not this Senior Bowl, last year's Senior Bowl, just to prove NFL teams ruin more players than develop. They had one of the top tackles in collegiate football who didn't give up a sack in 4 years, was a state champion wrestler, never lost a match, and they had him playing center at the Senior Bowl. The Giants, the effing Giants coaches had this kid playing center. Just shows you, I don't get me started. But we're going to start talking offensive tackles. 30. And how ironic, number one was my number one offensive tackle. I started this list back in May of 2025. The videos are all on my channel. Number one, Francis Mauigoa, offensive tackle, the U. 6'6", 340. Out of everyone on Miami, he carried the most muscle on his body. 340, he's not fat. He has almost 11-inch hands. Those are catcher's mitts. When he puts his hands on you, in my opinion, I don't think he gets past the Giants at 5. I think the Giants pick 5. Giants' offensive line is horrible, and Harbaugh is going to rebuild the trenches. I think he goes to the Giants. At 2, Gennings Dunker, Iowa, 6'5", 310, 10-inch hands. A lot of people want to throw him inside, yet, there was plays at the Senior Bowl. He didn't have to play the Senior Bowl. Bro, manhandling people. He's one of the mullet guys. He is 6'5". I'm playing him at offensive tackle until he proves to me I can't. Bro, I think my number 2 or 3 defensive tackle, he powerbombed him. Yo, this kid's a goon. Plays like a goon. Iowa's offensive line won the Joe Moore Award. That's given out to the best offensive line in college every year. I was watching one game. It was Iowa versus Rutgers. I stopped counting his pancakes at 20. That's it. I don't need to count anymore. 3, I don't think this kid is getting enough love at all. And his name is Caleb Tiernan, Northwestern, 6'8", 330, offensive tackle. His hands could be a little bit bigger. He has 9-inch hands. For being 6'8", 330, they could be a little bit bigger, but he's my 3rd offensive tackle, and I think he's not getting the love that he deserves. Number 4, I'm going to butcher this kid's name. Played for the Arizona State Sun Devils. Max Iheanachor. How about that? Started football later in life, 6'6", 330. Very raw. Very, very raw. I hate. Plays nasty. This dude has a mean streak. All my top 4 dudes have mean streaks. Has 9-inch hands. They could be a little bit bigger. This kid, he's 6'6", 330. If this kid puts on like about 10 pounds, this is a crazy comp. I'm not even going to say it. I don't want to say it. But he reminds me of a crazy, crazy, really, really good right tackle in the NFL that should be in Hall of Fame, but I'm not even going to say it. At 5, plug and play, Blake Miller, offensive tackle, Clemson. 6'7", 320 pounds, almost 10-inch hands, like between 9 and 10. You got to realize hand size is important when you're playing the offensive line. You got to have catcher's mitts, man. Like, show me a guy in the NFL with 8-inch hands that are playing the offensive line. Doesn't happen. It doesn't. Don't. At 6, Aamil Wagner, offensive tackle, Notre Dame. 6'6", 310 pounds. Out of everyone, had the longest arms at the combine. 10-inch hands. Like, very rarely does Notre Dame put out busts on the O-line. Who was the one kid a few years ago? Liam Eichenberg, I think. But now, perfect example. He was a kid that played offensive tackle in college. And the Miami Dolphins and their coach, who looked like, who was the dude? Who was the Jennifer Lopez? Who was her son? Mark Anthony. Yeah. So Miami's coach, who looked like Mark Anthony after a 10-day bender, says, all right, we're going to put him at center. Where's he now? At 7, Drew Shelton, offensive tackle, Penn State, 6'5", 320 pounds. Little bit under 10-inch hands. I've always said, man, if you want offensive linemen, you want linebackers, defensive linemen, safeties, some running backs, you go to Penn State. When I see Penn State wide receivers, I get scared. I like Penn State tight ends. This kid is legit, bro. Straight legit. Like I said, these videos are on my channel. At 8. Also, listen, here's the deal. This is my list. It's not going to be like everyone else's, and I'm okay with that. And that's why I look great. Do I get picks wrong? We all do. But I was having a chat with a draft guy that he has. Listen, I'm just going to say he has like a kind of like a draft channel. And what he does is he rates everyone mocks draft. But he knows his shit. He knows his stuff. And we were having a conversation going back and forth about these 2 offensive tackles. And I'm like, yo, those dudes are horrible. And his answer was, but they're the consensus 1 and 2s. And I'm like, are you serious? We all know 80% of the NFL can't even draft. And they're calling these guys consensus 1 and 2s. Remember when we were all in the 2nd grade and our teacher said, oh, if your friend jumped off the bridge, would you follow him? No, I rank people on what I see, not what everyone else does. And a lot of guys that do this, what they do is, like, they'll wait till Dan Brugler puts out his beast and then they'll just copy and paste. Or then they'll go around and see who everyone else is so they can be like all in a consensus. Nah, bro, I give you me. I give you people that no one even talks about, bro. But amazing creations. That's some awesome O-line in this draft. I like the tackles. I love the right tackles. I love the guards. I love the centers. This is probably the worst left tackle draft I've seen probably in my life. I'm being honest. I don't even know if I said him. At 8, Austin Barber, Florida. 6'7", 330, nice size. Little short, a little short of 10-inch hands. Big kid. I got him at 8. Now, here's a perfect example. We're going to start getting into players that a lot of people have ranked crazy high, and I don't see it. At number 9 is a kid, Monroe Freeling, Georgia. 6'7", 315. He has nice size hands, 10 inches, a little over 10 inches. A lot of people are calling this kid a first-round pick, a top 10 pick, a top 15 pick. I hate a lot to put round grades. I'll more be like day 1, day 2, or day 3. But if I had to put a round grade on this kid, to me, he's like a 3rd rounder. Because do I think he has talent? Yes. If you put an 87 on this kid, you would think he's a blocking tight end. This kid needs 30 pounds. 1-year starter at Georgia. This kid is going to get manhandled. He played left tackle at Georgia. I see him being right tackle first. All I'm going to try to say with this kid, he's not a plug-and-play mauler. And the NFL is a plug-and-play league. But if this kid puts on 30, 40 pounds, yeah. So I think his best ball is ahead of him. But, if when I was younger, it was you had to eat every 3 hours. Now it's like every 2 hours. So for all you young cats out there playing sports, if you're eating 5 times a day and you ain't gaining weight, eat 6. You ain't gaining weight, eat 7. You ain't gaining weight, eat 8, eat 9, eat 10. Me personally, I never had that problem. But I'm just saying, there's people that do. And the crazy part is the more you eat, your metabolism gets crazy. You get to that 2 hour mark, you're starving, bro. I used to eat 40 eggs a day. I used to eat 10 potatoes a day, 4 pounds of chicken a day. I got those pictures to prove it too. Martinez, boom. Thank you for jumping in the chat. Gallon of chocolate milk will help. Definitely will. Nice peanut butter and jelly sandwich before you go to bed will. Get up at 3 a.m., pound the protein drink. But yo, I tell these kids, yo, those protein drinks are all garbage. You see 70 different brands. Do you think these factories make 7? Oh, that's so-and-so. That's Ronnie. That's that guy's protein drink. That's that guy's protein drink. That's that guy's protein drink. No, it's all the same shit with different labels on it. Protein powder is not going to get you big. It's great for the second you walk out of the gym, pound one. And then maybe take one at night before going to bed. But no one's gotten giant from being protein powder. That shit's garbage. Food, 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 food. And a good bottle of a decent protein, 5 pounds. That's like $80, $90. You could buy 100 cans of tuna fish for that money. Food, my friends, food. All right, next kid at 10. I don't think this kid is getting the love he deserves. Straight goon. Demetrious Crownover, offensive tackle, Texas A&M. 6'7", 340 pounds, 10-inch hands, long arms. I like who I like. I got him another 10. I'm going to be brutal on some people. That's just me. That's why I'm a savage. Danny Savage. Next is, okay, back in the summer, before the draft, everyone had Alabama's Kadyn Proctor like a top 3 pick. Everyone's like, oh, he's a top 3 pick. You can go check my 2025 video on him. He's 6'7", 360 pounds, offensive tackle. 9-inch hands. How the F did that happen? I've seen better feet on paraplegics than this kid. Legit. His feet are horrendous. If his NFL career does not work out, I think he has a future on OnlyFans selling pictures of his tits, because this dude has tits. He's listed at 6'7", 360. He played 370, higher. Now, also, too, when was the last time Alabama had an offensive tackle that was not a bust? I'll be waiting. I'll wait. We're going to be here like 15 years. They've had some decent, like halfway decent interior guys. Now, do I think this kid is going to be working at Bojangles? No. I think you can put this kid at guard. He could play the next 10 years in the NFL. But most likely, he went from a top 3 pick to late first round. A team will try him at left tackle first. Then a team's going to try him at right tackle. But I think he can play for 10 years at guard. I say good, I say the bad, but I say what's on my mind. At 12, Wake Forest. This kid is a just straight goon. Philly Famoe. Yo, we all know those island dudes. They're just built different. 6'5", 330. Bro, his biceps and his calves. Bro, his calves are like that, bro. He looks like he has like cantaloupes for calves, bro. Straight goon, mean streak, a little bit shy of 11-inch hands. When he puts his hands on you, he shuts you down, and he ain't getting the love he deserves. Someone is gonna. At the combine, he had the biggest hands at the combine. But okay, now I'm gonna be rough on these next two dudes. Everyone in the beginning of the season has these guys as like top 5 picks, and I just don't see it. But I'll be nice. I'll play nice. I can play nice, but I play the bad role better. Someone got to play it. Spencer Fano, offensive tackle, Utah. 6'6", 300 pounds, very small, 9-inch hands. Now, am I saying this kid has no future? No. This kid's he needs if there ever was a candidate for weight gainer, it's this kid. He needs 30 pounds, 35 pounds. He's very, very lean. If an NFL team thinks he's a plug-and-play tackle, he's going to get thrown in the quarterbacks. He's going to get thrown right in the quarterback. He needs strength and about 30 pounds. I'm sorry. And I even think 13 is a gift. Yet other guys have him like at 2 or 3. Hey, that's them. And I think even 14. I'm going to give his partner, his teammate, Caleb Lomu, 6'5", 300 pounds. And I'm telling you, you got to realize, when you know you got to get on a scale, there's so many ways you can manipulate your weight. To drop it 20, to gain 20. A gallon of water is 7 pounds. Yo, but this kid, small 9-inch hands, 6'5", 300 pounds, and that's being generous. Another kid, he needs 30 pounds or he's going to get ragdolled. He's going to get thrown into the quarterbacks. He's just going to get tossed right into the quarterback. I just don't. Besides Texas Tech, that everyone's blowing up their guys, and I love Lee Hunter, Rodriguez. I like their safety, Wisniewski. But who have these guys played? They've played nobody. Leave it at that. At 15, Duke, Brian Parker, 6'5", 310, 10-inch hands. And he had to deal with, if I was in college playing football and I heard Bill Belichick is coming, bam, right in the portal. He must have had some hot trim girlfriend there or something, or like they gave him a nice bag. But you think I'm going to be in college getting coached by Bill Belichick? Hell no. Hell no. No. But a lot of people think he's going other places. 10-inch hands, 6'5", 310, very athletic, very strong, can get down the field. Like I said, I'm going to put you where you played in college until you prove me you can't. At 16, a lot of guys are sleeping on this dude, in my opinion. Jude Bowery, offensive tackle, Boston College. 6'5", 315, 10-inch hands. Like I said, a lot of people have other ideas in mind for this kid. I think he's getting slept on. Boston College puts out good offensive linemen. They always have. There's some schools you just know you can get certain positions. 16, another kid that no one's even talking about. He's Boston College's other offensive tackle, Logan Taylor. Now, this kid, 6'7", 320 pounds, 11-inch hands, and he's played everywhere. He's played right tackle, left tackle, guard, everywhere. Logan Taylor probably gets drafted ahead of Jude. But Logan Taylor is like No one's even talking about this kid. And he can play pretty much anywhere. And he has crazy size. And he's played around. 18, Travis Burk, Memphis. 6'9", 11-inch hands, 330 pounds, and he mean. A lot of times, big dudes, tall guys have a problem getting low. There's a million exercises you can do to loosen up those hips. But, for a big man, he can get low, and he's not getting the love. He deserves it all. Now, at 19 is another big mauler. Markel Bell, the U, 6'9", 340 pounds, offensive tackle. Crazy. He's 6'9", 340. He only has 9-inch hands. But what I respect about him is, he played the entire season, played all of the college playoff games, played in the national championship game, and then 2 weeks later, he's at the Senior Bowl, practicing against kids that had a year. Brockemeyer did that. Kadyn Black, Indiana's running back did it. Like, that's impressive, bro. That shows you're hungry. Picture you just played like 20 games. How banged up you are. Yet other kids had a year to prepare for it. Who do you think's stronger? That's why a lot of those practices, basically they're position-based to make other positions look better, goes out the window. But Markel Bell, ironically, he's a left tackle. I think you might see him more on the right side. He needs to get stronger. He needs to get a lot stronger. Crazy wingspan. He needs to stay lower. He needs to stay stronger. At 20, a lot of people are sleeping on this kid. J.C. Davis, offensive tackle, Illinois. And how many battles? I got him at 20. How many battles do you think him and Gabe Jackas had in practice every single day? Iron sharpens iron. People are sleeping on him. Next is a kid. I don't know, man, if he caught a bug or something, but he's at 21, Riley Malham. I think he's a swing tackle. He plays for the University of Wisconsin. He started over 50 games at right tackle. This past season, he started all the games at left tackle. They're a little down on him because he showed up and he weighed in at 305 pounds. Legit. This kid has the frame to be 330, 340. So it's easy. Just get him Golden Corral, lock him in there, and say, come back out when he's 330. But he can play right. He can play both sides. And Wisconsin's one of those other schools where a lot of good offensive linemen come in. And, bro, 50-game starter, you think that's like – no, bro, he can play. A little bit older, but this is the last year of the super C-word seniors. So next at 22 is a kid I love that nobody is talking about, and that's Old Miss Diego Pounds. 6'6", 340. This kid played. I don't care what you weighed at when you had to get on a scale. I have a pretty decent eye for size. This kid played much bigger than that. Not a little bit shorter than a little bit smaller than 9.5-inch hands, but he has meat hooks, long arms. When he locks his hands on you, it's pretty much over. I'm a U fan. Go back, watch the game. When Old Miss played Miami in the playoff games, see if Ruben Bain or Akeem Massador's name was mentioned once. This kid, Diego Pounds, is getting slept on. Straight goon. They're sleeping on this kid. I got him at 22. Next kid this was a gift, in my opinion. 23, but Penn State offensive tackle Nolan Rucci, 6'8", 320 pounds, 10.5 inch hands. Big kid. Was in a fight where like he almost lost his job, but then he started working with some offensive guru guy, and he shot some tweets out on him. I think that's a gift, but he will get he's like a day 7. He's a round 7 pick to me. He might even go undrafted free agent, but Penn State, he has the size. A couple people make a call and say, yo, he's been working with me. Do me a favor, draft him. 24, Cage Casey, Boise State. 6'6", 310, 10-inch hands. There you go. I like him a lot. There's a team out there, I'm not going to say it who, but, throughout the years, they just have drafted so many Boise State people. And then Boise State, it's annoying. They have that blue field. I don't even know. Dan, I don't know what college it was, but they went out and actually got a black, and it was in a warm area, a black field. The turf was black. Do you know what the temperature of that field was? And it had to be like 140 degrees on that. Yeah, let's make the field black. So it's 150 degrees where the guys are playing. They got 2 IVs in their arms, or IV in each arm at halftime. Cage Casey, Boise State, 6'6", 310. Next, perfect example. Trey Zune, offensive tackle, Texas A&M, 6'6", 325, 10-inch hands. Don't ask me why. Now, he's played left tackle for Texas A&M. They want to switch him. Everyone wants to switch him to center. Yet, you hear people saying there are big centers in this draft. I'm telling you that right now. But everyone always says, oh, that guy's too big. He can't play center. But not guard. Now they want to play him at center. So, hey, we'll see what happens. But to me, I put you at left tackle until you can't play left tackle. Because this is not for me. The least athletic lineman out of the 5 is the center. You know why? Because he has a guy on each side of him to help him out. He has to be very, very smart, calls out the coverages, multitasker. He has to think. But think about it. How many 6'2", 290-pound centers Iowa are playing for a decade in the NFL? You can be a technician, a wrestler, and get away with it. Those are not my words. Those are any dudes that know anything about the offensive line. But me, I still like my 6'5" monster centers. But you can get away with a 6'2", 290-pound technician. Some of the best centers ever played were not on the biggest side. Next is a kid. Some people are blowing him up. They cooled off real quick on him. Isaiah World, offensive tackle, Oregon. He's 6'8", 310. 6'8", 310. Not very small, 9-inch hands. I'm not lying. When I look at offensive linemen, I start at the legs, and then I go up. This marker is bigger than his legs. His calves. You ever see when you go to a buffet, or you order a gyro and you see they're cutting the meat off the skillet? His calves look like he has no calves. It's he has no calves, and he has the tiniest chicken legs in the world. Watch this dude turn out to be like an all-pro. No bueno. I ain't going near him. That's just me. 27, Dorian Strong, offensive tackle, Texas State, 6'6", 340. I don't know what it is, but Texas State, North Texas, and the University of Minnesota. But let's stick with Texas State and North Texas. I don't know where they find these guys, because I got a couple of centers and guards from North Texas. Bro, these dudes are like 6'6", 360. Like, I don't know where they find them. Same thing with University of Minnesota. Like, these dudes are just monsters. But Texas State and North Texas, these guys are just monsters. And you're going to hear, when I do my guards and tackles, you're going to hear quite a few. So Dorian Strong, offensive tackle, Texas State, 6'6", 340. He could play left tackle, right tackle, guard. Let's see how many other guys are giving you HBCUs. You know what I'm saying? But next kid, I feel like I've been talking about this kid for like 6 years, but he's a straight up monster. And his name is Micah Petrus. It feels like he was at Ole Miss for like 5 years. This kid is 6'8", 350. He's bigger than that. He spent his career on the right side. He played much, much bigger than 350. Trust me. This past season, he went to Florida State. Do I think he's going to be an offensive tackle in the NFL? No. I think he'll get exposed by speed. One hell of a monster guard, bro. I don't know his hand size. I apologize. But, yo, I've been watching this kid for years. Like I said, a lot of these kids, bro, there's 6 years of tape. So why do you watch 3 games on people? You hear, that's the magic number. Oh, I got to watch 3 games. Come on, bro. What are you doing the last other 6 years? All right, the next kid, I'm not going to blame it on him, but he's very low, 29, Ethan Oanawa, Ohio State, 6'6", 350. I'm not going to blame it on him. He didn't have the greatest of years. Very, very weird. Ohio State went out in the offseason and got, besides the center, got like 4 left tackles in the transfer portal. Just like roll dice, threw them out there. Then like 2 weeks before the season opener, I guess they opened up position battles again. And everybody moved around. Howie Bears, bro, thank you for jumping in the chat. Jordan Vanderberg, I got him. I'm like a few, I think I put out 25 tackles, but I broke him down. I did a video on him, and he will be making my defensive tackle list. I think I put in the 25s, or I got to get to 30, but he's going to make it. But I did a video on him already in the summertime, Jordan Vandenberg. I got him. Don't worry about it. Oh, and if you're a Bears fan, Kyle Monungai was my 10th ranked running back last year. And he went in round 7, did not start a game, and he had a better year than Austin Gentry. Oh, I must have an eye for talent. A few years ago, 3, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, Isaiah Pacheco, ironically a round 7 pick out of Rutgers also, he got 3 rings with the Chiefs. I must have a pretty decent eye, or just get lucky. I wish I'd fucking get lucky winning the lottery, you know what I'm saying? But apologize for cursing. The Bears, sorry, I didn't see this was O-line today. Nah, bro, don't worry about it. Nah, we can talk about everything, man. Don't worry about it. But I've done a video on Jordan Vandenberg. I broke him down, Georgia Tech, and I did a list, but I was a few short of 30, but it doesn't matter. All my breakdowns will be done by Wednesday, and then I'll probably put out another 100 players to more the entire month of April. April is mock drafts daily 2-3 sleepers a day. But I did a video on Jordan Vandenberg already in the summertime. 30 is a kid no one's talking about. He's like from Germany. He's one of those giant monsters. Paul Rublat. What a name. University of Central Florida. Yo, this dude is 6'10", 340 pounds. He looks like a basketball player. Like he can crazy long arms. You know, listen, I think the bench press is a very overrated way to test an offensive lineman, because as an offensive lineman, if you have to bench press the guy off of you, you lost the battle by letting him get to your body. But this dude has crazy long arms, and he did 26 reps at 225. Now, that's when you have long arms, that's much, much more impressive than a shorter, small arm guy that boom, 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 because you're traveling so much smaller of a lower distance. But he's number 30th offensive tackle, Paul Rublat. Beast. So I gave you 30 tackles, and we're going to be more. Prior video, I think I did 27, 28 safeties, so I still got a few more. Tomorrow, I got 30 guards, 30 centers coming out. Monday, I got corners. I just got corners, and then I'm going to throw out like 5 tackles. And then there's just a couple of positions where like I got to put like 3 guys here, 3 guys there. But Jordan Vandenberg is definitely making like I said, I did a video on him, and he's making all my rankings. I liked him a lot. Rutgers, yeah. Landon Robinson, Navy. Bro, he was my 15th ranked defensive tackle. 6 foot, 290, skinny. You know, he went to the Naval Academy, so you know he's smart, regimented. He's lean for 290, could get bigger. He has a place in the NFL, man. Throughout the years, there has been plenty of 6 foot, 300-pound zero techs in this league, and he can get bigger than that. I think he could weigh 300 easily. You know what's crazy with a lot of those dudes, the service academies, they don't get that bigger because in order to graduate, think about this. They got to be under 240. So think about you like 300 pounds, but to graduate, you got to be under 240 pounds. And if you're not, they throw you out, and then they'd be like, all right, now you owe us for the last 4 years tuition. Crazy, bro. You wonder why dudes are eating ephedrine left and right. But Landon Robinson, but he's like certain teams, man, like Pittsburgh, now that Harbaugh's with the Giants, Mike Vrabel with the New England, Texans. He could be a sneaky Cowboy pick. Cowboys have been known throughout the years. Roger Staubach, Navy, Chad Hennings, Air Force. But listen, Landon Robinson has a place. Do I think you're going to get 40, 50 plays out of him? No. You'll get 25 out of him easily. Yo, he's a freak. Freak All-American, 15 sacks, and 800 pounds. Yo, dude, 800-pound squat. Yo, you want to impress me? Yo, if you're an lineman, especially an offensive lineman, your home is the squat rack, bro. That's where your home is. No deadlifts. No college team deadlifts. No high school. If you ever see anyone telling your son to deadlift, punch that person in the mouth. Deadlifts destroy backs. No one does deadlifts. They do power cleans, explosive movements. But if you have a lineman, it's the squat rack. The squat rack is your best friend. Should cornerback JD Lucas, Florida, switched to free safety. I have not done corners, but I'm going to be honest, it's really not a good corner class. The front of the draft is, so I think the corners are going to go, the good corners are going to go quick, real quick. Where I dropped 30 safeties. Safeties are going to go all 7 rounds plus into undrafted free agents, but the top, it's not a good corner draft. It's not. So it's I would say I got to check him out. I have no idea who you're talking about. I have no idea who this kid is. Yet some other dudes will be like, "Oh yeah, I watched 3 games of him, and yeah, I have no idea who you're talking about. I'll do a deep dive on him and watch him, and then I'll just come back and I'll answer your question. I'll write it down even. You know what I'm saying? I have so many notebooks. I'm old school, bro. I was gonna bite this off. Watch me rip it. Side swallow it. I'll be doing corners on Monday. Now, there's another guy who fashions himself as a draft person. Anytime anyone had questions from him, he had no clue. He would just make believe he was writing it down. Be very leery of the snake oil salesman. Listen, I apologize that this video went 47 minutes, but a lot of people don't want to see it that long. But I'm breaking down 30 guys, and I try to do as quickly as possible. Howie the Bears, Toy Stooks. Never heard of him. Never heard of him. If he's a corner, never heard of him. It's a bad class. I'm being honest with you, bro. I've done videos on close to 500 players so far. Last year I was at 750. I'll still get to. I want to go back into the HBCU. I put out about 40 HBCU kids and a couple of Division III kids. I want to get back to. I want to get. You're gonna have at least after Monday, at least another. We're gonna have a lot of fun in April, everybody. What? Baby Shug, what's up? Thank you for jumping in the chat. Yo, everybody likes it. Amazing Creations, always draft season. Martinez, thank you for jumping in the chat. Howie, the Bears. Yo, everyone was. Yo, I like Caleb Williams, bro. And everyone was like down on him, bro. I'm like, I liked him, bro. At USC, now here's the type of kid. I'm going to end this real quick. You can't micromanage him. Just say, yo, go out and play. Do what you do. Do what you did in college. But what do I know? Howie the Bears, thank you for jumping in the chat. Arizona State. I've done a few Arizona State dudes. But I'll check him out, man. Tony Stooks is a top 75 Arizona State. Hold on. Nickelback, cornerback, free safety. All right. Like I said, I haven't broken down corners yet. I'm going to do corners on Monday, but I've probably maybe 30 corners videos I've done so far. Well, that's pretty decent. Genesis Smith. Oh, okay. He's Genesis. If there ever was a definition of a free safety, it's Genesis Smith. Great size. I think a lot of people call him a bad tackler. I think he's a good tackler. Genesis Smith. I think he was 12 on my safety list. I'm not 100% sure. I dropped it earlier. Like I said, I was having issues. I apologize. These videos were out early. But tomorrow we got 30 guards and 30 centers. If you're a Bears fan, like I said, this channel is for all 32 NFL teams, and I cover every college. Do I say I know every person? No, no one does. But I know a lot more than a lot of other people. Most draft channels give you 10 players per position. Helen Keller could give 10 players per position. Because we all know when you're rocking with the GWO, it's for life. Over and out. Thank everybody for jumping in the chat. Yeah, they put what to Arizona State. I'll give him a shot. I'll check him out. Check him out. I did the Max. I can't even pronounce his name. Max Anator, Arizona State's right tackle. He's a goon. He was my number 4 offensive tackle. I don't want this to go any longer. I apologize. People don't want to watch. I don't know, bro. I should hire like 2 strippers to stand behind me. People will stay here for an hour, man. Over and out. Real recognize real. You know that, right? The Bears, bro. 85. Statistically, the Ravens are the best defense. The best defense I ever saw was the 1985 Bears. Over and out, guys.